Thank you so much for joining Sharebird's The Essential Go-to-Market Show, tips and strategies, where we offer short video content in interview-style conversations with global product marketing leaders and marketers who showcase some of their best talent when it comes to go-to-market and product launches. I'm your host, Yasmeen Tarehi. Now, whether you're an early-stage startup or a public company, almost everyone struggles with the same question. What does it take to have a successful product launch? Today, I'll be talking to Alison Murdock. She's the founder and chief marketer of Trusted CMO, an agency that helps early stage startups create go-to-market plans that help them grow, scale, and thrive. She's really a veteran CMO in Silicon Valley. She's been the CMO of a number of startups, some of which you might recognize, SocialChorus and Sixth Sense, and many, many more. So you can take a look at her background to check out some of the other companies that she's worked with. But today we're going to ask her about some questions from her perspective as a CMO on the go-to-market process. So thank you so much for joining, Alison.
Thank you, Yasmeen, for having me. I'm excited to talk about this.
Awesome. So just to kick it off, Alison, what are some of the ways that CMOs have been able to efficiently work with product marketing?
Yeah, product marketing was not the beginning of my marketing career. I've done many other things like events and content and demand gen before I even really knew what product marketing is. And I think, to be fair, we all know it's a newish domain. Maybe it was always there, but they called it something else. So I discovered that product marketers are, when you're a CMO, are the ones that obviously know the most about a product. I mean, as a CMO, you are watching over so many different things. You have hundreds of balls in the air that you're juggling and logistics, and it means we rarely have the in-depth understanding of a product that's about to go to market. And so, my greatest memories and experiences are with people like you, actually, and our friend Mary Sheehan, shout out to Mary, to really help us understand the entire process of bringing a product to market, from the smallest idea to even post-launch, and making sure that we get the adoption that we'd like to see. I think it's really crucial that we spend a lot of time together, especially 4 to 6 weeks out, to really understand what can this product do for our customers. How should we be preparing the market for this big announcement, so that it's something that people are already thinking about, and then suddenly, wow, we have the answer. So as the CMO, you're thinking about PR, you're thinking about demand gen, you're really not in deep with the product. So that's the job of product marketers, to work side by side with us as part of that launch team.
Great. And Alison, what is your perspective on the go-to-market process as a CMO? How involved or maybe not involved are you with that process? And how do you see that process fall apart or work well? What's been your experience?
Yeah, I think, I'm I'm one of those CMOs, kind of come in different flavors. And I think at this point in my career, have come to grips with the fact that, I love visual and creative, and I'm thinking of fun new ideas. But honestly, my greatest strengths are really around operations. And even in this business, somebody said to me, well, wait a minute, Trusted CMO isn't just strategy, and it's hands-on? I said, it is. And I'm actually okay with that, because I think the details matter. And so, partly with the go-to-market process, if you don't have a great plan, things will fall apart. I think it's super important to think through everything that could happen. What happens if, you launch a product and nobody understands how it works. You don't get the adoption you've expected. Or you launch kind of a small feature, and suddenly that becomes the newest thing that everybody's buying, and no one saw that coming. So I think where I feel things work is when you've anticipated what you believe might happen, and you plan around that. It's a bit like a marathon, not a sprint. You've got to anticipate that you might hit a wall at mile 17. And so then what are you going to do? And then I think on the other hand, it's really about being fairly real with yourself that, this product isn't getting the adoption. So what can we do to, create videos or show our customers how it works better or what they can do with it? We're dealing with people. And we sometimes don't get their full psychology when we bring a product to market.
Yeah. And what would you say is your go-to-market checklist before launch? What are some of the things that you think about from your perspective as a CMO?
Well, like I said, I have an operational mind, so my checklist is like long and very detailed and obsessive. So we'll just leave it there. But there are a few things that I really care about. Messaging is super, super important. I'm actually going through a product launch now with a client of mine, and that's where we are today. Is often product managers are like, it's in their head, and they're like, it's this thing. You're like, I don't really know what you mean. So we're gonna go through the pain of me just not getting it at all, so that I'm forcing you to, not use jargon and explain it in a normal way. So messaging, hands down, and how does that messaging translate to various different people that need to care about the product? What does that mean for sales? What does that mean for your customer? What does that mean for their users? Depending on your product, it's just essential to sort of walk through all of those different possibilities and get that kind of crystallized. The other thing is, funny enough, and I'm just because it's very specific, is a bit of competitive analysis, possibly in the form of what I would say battle cards and talking points. Your sales team is obviously, they're the ones that are going to be selling this, and if you have a product-led growth, then someone's going to be reading something on your website. So you need to know how to explain your product with it's this, not this, or when we say these words, what we mean for our differentiated version is this thing. So I think that going through that mental exercise is super important. And the other thing is, most solid product marketers do this, but you have a product in beta, right? And so seeing if you can get customers to agree to provide some quotes or some testimonials around the strength of this product and what it does for them. I think you'll pat yourself on the back and thank yourself later if you do that when they're still excited about it and not when they've like, we're past this. And finally, I would say, because I'm a planner, teeing up all of the pieces for the launch in draft mode and getting it all ready and orchestrating it. It should be a product launch should be like a giant symphony with a big cymbal crash, and all the pieces are working in harmony, because you don't want to be unprepared. And so doing as much as you can to front load it is like my preferred way of working.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, all very important points. And thank you so much, Alison. I wish we had more time, but I know these are supposed to be very short. So,
well, yeah, and I think, short is good because no one has the attention span these days. But, I love what you're doing, which is giving, people a playbook. And I am very much of the same mind. It does not have to be a mental heavy lift every time. If you follow some certain rules, and really do some critical thinking, you will have a successful launch.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And Alison, where can people find you? Where can they, let's say, sign up to learn more about Trusted CMO?
Yeah, so it's just trustedcmo.com. And I have a little form on my website. I think I get, because I love talking to people about not only marketing, but being a bit of an entrepreneur as well, which I think I now see myself more as an entrepreneur who actually does marketing. That's my profession. I get inbounds every week. Happy to take calls and talk to people a little bit about where they are. I typically work with early stage companies that often do have a very small marketing team or no marketing team. And I see my job is to help them build a foundation so they can become a fully evolved marketing organization over time. So happy to always entertain some questions and talk to people about what they're doing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alison. And you can stay tuned for upcoming shows with product marketing leaders and marketers from startups to public companies as they share some of their best tips and practices on go-to-market. And send us a note. Tell us what you learned. Tag us. Tag Alison and Trusted CMO and myself and Sharebird. We'd love to hear from you. And for those of you who are looking for more material on the go-to-market process, you can also check out my book, Product Marketing Debunked, which is on Amazon, and one of my many free articles, which is on Medium. And if you're really serious about go-to-market, I also have a course offering for a select group of folks who really want to build their own go-to-market plan and launch their product in market. So we'll share those details later. And again, thank you so much for your time.